Um, um, oh, no, that's the YouTube link. Oh. Why is that picture? Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just trying to post the link on the Facebook because I'm doing it at a different time to usual. So I thought I'd just let people know I'm live now. So yeah, I'm just doing that. I think my connection's better because I think I'm not as far behind or as far ahead. Yeah, it's a lot better. I've had oh, hold on. I've had an improvement to my internet hub. So it's yeah, I thought I'll try it on the stairs like I used to have it, and it's much better. Um, what have I pressed? I've got a new laptop as well, so it's all a bit new. I've pressed something that's changed everything. Okay, let's open that wide. Let's open the Zoom, this page, cover that. Perfect. Okay. And yeah, so hi, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm a little bit snotty. It's hay fever. I took some medicine yesterday, and then today it's all like pouring out. So I've been walking as well. So I had to walk for an eye drop thing. I've issue with my eyes lately, and yeah, they tested them, and I had a eyelash in it as well. Like it's pointing into the eye. It's been really annoying, but I pulled it out now, and it's fine. Anyway, yeah, bit of background information. I'm snotty. My eyes are healing, and I have new internet, better internet. Oh yeah, also my lips are a bit sorry. My top lip's a bit dry. I think when I was younger, I didn't really get much premenstrual stuff, signs, but now I get a lot more than what I used to, or I'm more aware of them. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know, but I get a lot more stuff happening. Okay, so welcome. Hi, welcome to the non-duality stream. So I do the stream Wednesday. I was doing it at 5 o'clock, but I'm thinking about doing it like this time from now on if I can. So yeah, but I'll try to keep you updated as I go along if that needs to change or anything. But yes. Yeah, so welcome. So you can join the Zoom by going to that Zoom link I put in the chat box. Go to Zoom and you can join before the introduction or after the introduction, or you can call in, you can ask questions, or you can watch through just YouTube and write questions in the chat box. So that's the way you interact. So the title of this, oh, hiding it under the, oh yeah, stuck in time. Stuck in time, non-duality, stuck in time. So it feels quite lovely to recognize that and to point that out, that humans suffer because they are stuck in time. So I don't mean suffer as in pain. So pain is a part of this experience. Life is a mixture of pain and pleasure. Good things happen, bad things happen. It's a mixture of that. You're going to get happiness and joy. You're going to get sadness and pain and hurt and all these sorts of things. Anger, whatever, disappointment. So life is that. So there's no avoiding that, escaping that. And I would say actually a lot of suffering, a lot of our, because pain's just direct, but a lot of our painfulness it can be around rejecting that life is a mixture of good and bad, and trying to reject that badness, pain, and just to have the goodness is suffering, because you kind of denying this, you're rejecting this, you're rejecting this wholeness, You're rejecting this everything. But to go back to the point, so suffering is about not knowing who you are. So being stuck in time, being stuck in your story, being stuck in the mind, which is time, being stuck in that narrative of what's going on, and to not know anything else is suffering. It's hell. To not know that you aren't that reality isn't truth, that reality is appearing, but it isn't who you are, it isn't truth. That to me is suffering, to not know that is not who you are, to not know that is moving and changing. And just to point that out, that suffering comes from being solely identified to the mind and its stories, to time and its stories. So being stuck to who you think you are as a story. It is what I would say is suffering. It is suffering. To not know yourself as that which isn't in time. And you could put a name on that, but yeah, I think it's better not to put a name on that, on what you are. And so this subtle difference, this subtle this subtleness can make all the difference can make all the difference. This subtle thing can make all the difference. Not all the difference as in life is life. Life is messy and complicated and all these things. There's no escaping that pain and pleasure of that. But it can make all the difference. Because then you aren't bound to that, bound to that difficulty or ease, that pain or pleasure. You aren't bound to it, which is so beautiful. Like you can't escape it, the pain and pleasure. So you fully are that, experiencing that, you fully are that, but you aren't bound to it. Whereas when you're identified to time, to the mind, to that story of you, then this pain, pleasure is happening, but it's like you're 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 bound in that, you're going through that, you're stuck in that. You're like riding the waves of that fully, but in the same way you're also detached from it in your story of it. It's really weird to talk about because it's like, yeah, I guess it's hard to talk about, but like you're in it and you're so immersed in it, but at the same time you're kind of removed from it. You're in it, but you're like like trying to get out of it, and you're like, yeah, you're really struggling with it. Whereas the difference is this life is happening, this pain pleasure is happening, the roller coaster is happening, and like in one way you're fully it, fully immersed, fully it, fully like no separation, fully it. But it's also like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's also like not happening, which is like so, it's just that sweet spot. It's so sublime that it's fully happening and yet also not happening. And that's like the beauty. Like you're fully living, even more than before, because like you're fully open to it, like you're fully being lived, you're fully open. You aren't protected by this story and this limited idea of yourself. So you're fully, even more living it, you're fully being lived. And yet, like, there's this emptiness living it. There's this emptiness living it. So therefore, it's not happening. So it's fully happening, but not to you anymore. Don't know how you would advertise that to someone. How would you advertise that? Like, how would you do it? How would you do that? Yeah, it's just so beautiful. Like what I mean is like you can't stand up on a pulpit and be like, I don't know, like it's like it's yeah, yeah, so beautiful. So you're welcome to ask anything in the YouTube chat, or you can join on Zoom. Yeah, you can join on Zoom or ask in the chat box. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Kelly.
Oh, did you have a question or?
Yeah, I was I was going to just talk about something that happened earlier this week. So I was listening to Adi Shanti, and he was talking about how he was talking about how when the body dies, if the body dies, he was saying almost it wouldn't really matter if the body died, as long as we could experience life, as long as the self can experience life. So at that point, I had this feeling that, oh yes, that's actually true, because so the body, my body could die, but as long as I could experience, I was here experiencing, then it wouldn't really matter. I had that kind of feeling. It was really very strange. So he was talking about an innocent looking, and then and that. So he was referring to that, but then he was also referring to the self, and then suddenly I had this feeling that, well, yeah, if my it's almost the one who's looking. It doesn't matter if this particular body died, as long as it. So it was like almost what was experiencing this wasn't the body.
Yeah.
The body. I like a really, like, just for a brief moment, I had that kind of sense, that feeling. And then I was trying to find out what that was experience, or that wants to continue to experience, or is interested in experiencing life, and it was hard to pinpoint it, but there was something that would be scared to die, or wants to continue experiencing, but it wasn't the body. I don't know. Yeah, but that's how I felt.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to like pinpoint what that is, that sense of self that wants to continue living, or want to, is experiencing life. It's like it's there, but it's not there. Yeah, I think I'm trying to pin it down to what it is, and you can't really pin it down, so it's just confusing.
Yeah.
What that kind of sense of self is, the me, or the that one who wants to continue to live.
Yeah. And if you manage to get the answer to that, would you then, how would you then feel? I'm assuming you want the answer to that.
Yeah. I would feel like I've caught it or something, you know. Oh yeah, that. Oh, there it is. That's what, you know.
Well, then you'd feel like more relaxed or something, or more.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
peaceful.
like you've figured it out or something. Like you've caught the one who's not. You've caught the culprit, or yeah, like you've caught that one who's elusive, or you can't really get hold of, or the one that's not even there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, when you were first describing it, I felt that joy, that like sense of
Yeah.
openness, that the body isn't dependent, it isn't necessary for this,
Yeah.
for what you are, for the life, that it's not coming through or from the body.
Yeah.
I felt that resonance with that. Then the last part, I wasn't too quite clear on what, like it doesn't seem very clear. Like it's got into the mind trying to understand something or grasp something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a brief moment. I think I just felt separate. Or, it seemed like there was a looking, and then there was the body, and the looking wasn't really the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it just went,
Yeah. And the mind tries to understand
Yeah.
and conceptualize that, and
Yeah.
yeah. But in the same way, like you said, the body didn't matter whether the body was functioning or not. In the same way, you could see it as the thoughts as well. So the thoughts of the mind's trying to understand something, trying to get a concept it can hold on to. So that's happening on one level. But does that matter? Does it really affect what is looking? Does it affect that stillness, that emptiness that always is? If the mind's being, focusing on trying to solve something or get the answer to something, that could be happening, but it wouldn't affect that which is free, that which is just looking. Like it wouldn't affect that. Do you want to show me later? Can you show it me later? Yeah, I'll do it with you later. Is that okay? All right, thank you. So yeah, it's the same thing. It's all right, Tita. Yeah, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect that which is. Like it's simply a movement, whether it be the body or a thought or a feeling. What is that? That doesn't change, that isn't affected by it.
Yeah.
So when we're like on the back of like a rucksack, like on the back of the mind, we're always going to be pulled into like trying to find this, trying to do that, and that's okay to function. The mind's doing its job, but like there's a deep seeing that's going to keep doing that, because the mind's function is to do that, solve problems and work things out and imagine and conceptualize things. But what is being spoken about isn't in that. What's that appearing in? It isn't in that. There's this expansion beyond that. It's opening beyond that, which is always expanded, it's always open, but we're so highly focused on that limitation of the mind, of that functioning of the mind, of the intellect. So it isn't going to be found in the intellect, in the mind. That's just doing what it's doing. It's something else beyond it that isn't searching or seeking or anything. it's already fully complete. It's already whole. And so non-duality, if anything, is just pointing back to that, this remembering of that. What's already here, what's already free. And so it's so radical. We think we are the mind, we are that person, that storyline. And so we're convinced that we're going to find something in that storyline. We're going to find the truth in that storyline. That we're going to personally know it and find it. And that's just impossible. That's not true. So we think we're on a journey, we're on a path, we're here listening to non-duality, we're going to work it out and get there, but it's not true. That narrative isn't true. And so this shift can be a bit disorientating, because if I'm not that narrative of someone, then who do I be? Who am I? How do I then function? So used to being a person. And I'm not discrediting the person, the character, the storyline of someone. Well, I am, in a way, I am. But I'm also not. I'm also saying that's okay. But it's not who you are. It's not true. It's not getting rid of that. It's just not who you are. It's not truth. And this recognition of that, this melting back into that. It's easing back into that. That which is right here and isn't in time. That which is right here and isn't in opposites, isn't in you and me. It just is this immaculateness. Then the human function, the human is, the way the human is. And life happens. Life is happening. Just the way it is. Just the way it is.
Even like for me, Kelly, even when there are no thoughts or there isn't a story running, there still seems to be like a sense of something. I guess you could call that a person, but it's so it's not clear, or it's not. Maybe it's like a film or something on top of the emptiness, or the empty looking, or the vastness, but or a contraction.
So I'm not sure what you mean.
Like even when there are no thoughts, say if I'm just sitting and there are no thoughts, so the mind isn't functioning, and I guess I'm trying to figure out what this empty looking is, or this and the empty looking has
Can I ask why you're trying to find that out? What's driving that?
I guess I'm trying to find out who I am, I guess. Who I am. That's the question, I guess, of back. Who am I? I mean, I've heard so much that this is not personal.
And sorry, can I ask why you want to know who you are? What's driving that?
Why do I want to know who? Because I know from hearing the speakers and non-duality and self that there's more to life than what I'm currently. There's more to this reality than what I'm perceiving.
So it isn't your own desire. You've just heard other people saying about it. What's your desire in it though? Are you just copying other people, or do you actually have a desire? I want to know who I am. Is it your own like?
Yeah, it's because I've heard that there is another possibility aside from this. Yeah, I want to know that. Yeah, I know that this is not the only possibility. That my current experience is not the only possibility. That there's that how I'm perceiving life isn't real.
Okay.
So I want to know what reality is. Yeah, that's my drive. Yeah.
Sorry, and why do you want to know what reality is?
Partly because of partly because I guess I get caught up in the mind and thoughts and stories, and I know that it's not real, but something in me keeps getting caught.
Yeah.
Or that there's a discomfort in me that I know isn't real, but it's there. In my body, there's a discomfort.
So is it discomfort is causing you to then look for the answer to that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, discomfort.
Do you know what that discomfort is? Do you know what it is? Like, is it what would you name it as? Like emotions or feeling? What would you name it as? The discomfort?
Yeah, I could used to be able to name it because of life circumstances, but now I can't. My life circumstances are fabulous. I've never been as happy as I am now.
Okay.
In my entire life.
Yeah.
But so it's not really life circumstances. It's not anything but that I can put my finger on. So I can't even run a story with it. Apart from that, I'm not my authentic self. I feel that.
Yeah. So something feels not right or something, or you just feel
something's like not right, even though everything externally is perfect.
Yeah.
And it's a contraction in my throat or chest, and it's a discomfort. And it's not always there, but I'm always just it's like a part of me always knows that there's something more, or this isn't it, or
but that part sounds more mental. Like you've heard things from me, they're trying to match what you've heard, and but the discomfort part sounds more like a genuine, like your experience is that, as opposed to what you've heard other people saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I can feel a yearning in myself, I guess. Yeah.
What are you yearning for?
A yearning.
Yeah, and what are you yearning for?
Yearning for. I don't know. I don't know what the yearning is for.
Just take a minute just to answer. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you yearning for?
I guess you could say I'm yearning for. Yearning.
This is my intercom. Hopefully a child will answer it in a minute. Oh, thank you. Who is it? Okay, thank you. Sorry, so the parcel just comes to the door. I'm in the hallway near the door. Okay. Sorry, what was you?
Yeah. So I guess my yearning is for a relaxation, or a home feeling, or peace. Just, I don't know about peace. I think it's just rest. I could say rest. A rest and an ease.
Yeah.
And the discomfort that's there is not, and I can't even say what it is, or I can't even do anything to make it better, or
Yeah, that's okay.
It's not like something's wrong. There's nothing wrong. I have no real external problems at all. That I can put right, or
Yeah, I don't know what to suggest to you then. I mean, have you had an emotional like therapy to express your feelings?
No, no, I haven't had therapy actually. So in my mind, I may be wrong, but I'm thinking that that feeling, the discomfort, is this sense of individuality of, that's what that discomfort is. That, that's being a separate self, or that's what that's what I put it down to. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
In my mind, I figured that if that sense of being separate were to disappear, then my discomfort would go.
Yeah. And therefore you're chasing that, trying to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
discomfort. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I was going to ask you, like, what if that discomfort is part of this, and there's no escape from that? How does that feel? Like that was okay.
I could accept it. Yeah, I could accept that that's always going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. How does that feel to accept it, include it in this experience?
Yeah, I guess it feels a little lighter when you. Yeah, I think I'm chasing this sense of separateness to drop away somehow.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal. Like that's some kind of, you know.
Yeah. And can you see how that's in time? How that's in the future?
Mm, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Whereas right now there is just what's happening.
Yeah.
And that which you're running away from, trying to get away from and trying to fix and get out of, how that's creating suffering.
Yeah.
It's
It
creating
is.
that attachment to time.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed. Is that what you mean?
I don't know, it's just this belief in there being a problem.
Yeah.
But you can't like believe yourself out of that either. It's just like
Yeah.
that's what's happening. That's what's happening. There's this belief in something's wrong here, and then with
Yeah.
that is this natural seeking to fix that
Yeah.
and get
That's
out of that,
exactly. Yeah. It
reject
just
that.
feels like there's something wrong. There's something not right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how does it feel?
You mean in my body?
No, just how does it feel? Is that story still strong? That desire to get out of this, to fix this discomfort, to find who you are? Is that still playing, or is it not as strong?
Yeah, it's kind of not as strong, but I can feel the discomfort. And yeah, and I think, in a way, maybe because I do listen, I spend a lot of time listening to non-duality and speakers, and somehow how speakers portray, like it, the reality of now is not my experience of reality, and I'm thinking there's something missing.
Yeah, there's nothing missing.
This is it.
There's nothing missing. Yeah, okay. So feel free to call back, or let me know how things are.
Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Just checking the chat. What's Namaste, dear sister. Namaste. I did not hear. I did not hear the response to how does one function. I did not hear the response to how does one function. Oh, interaction within the illusion. I'm not sure that is. Kelly, would you ever have an in-person get-together in the UK? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I have well, get together. What do you mean by that? I've done a couple of talks in the UK, I think. Have I? Yeah, I have. I have in the UK, yeah. A few years prior. I have. Yeah. I've been asked about that, and I'm open to doing talks in the UK or anywhere really. I'm open to it, but I would need some support in arranging and organising it. I just haven't got the ability to do that on my own, really. So yeah, I'm open to it, but with support. If someone's offered to help arrange that, then yes. But yeah, it sounds like the non-dualist teachers jump in and out of worldly things when convenient. Oh, okay. And do you do ones? And do you do one-to-ones on Zoom? I do one-to-ones on Zoom, yeah. There is no movement, but apparent movement seems to happen as the mind splices together the illusion and creates a story with the past and future. This thought occurs now and then. Oh. So after so-called enlightenment, does one spend a lifetime in observation of external suffering? It sounds like a self-righteous stance. I'm not sure if you're writing to me as a question or you just commenting on the comments. So if it is to me, try and say to me so I can now know it's for me to answer and to address. Yeah, I just don't want to answer or it's only a comment, that's fine. But if it's a question you want me to answer and respond to, then be more clearer with it. I'll respond to it and say question, and I'll answer it as a question. But yeah, I just feel like from reading that comment, it's I feel there's a aggressiveness in it. So I'm open to address it, but please direct it to me specifically, and I'll address it. I would like you to respond to those concerns, please. Which one is it? So the first one. What aura? Which question are you concerns are you referring to? Which one? Your microphone is still on. Do you mind turning it off if you don't want to speak? Thank you, just for the feedback. You stated, how does one function? Maybe you're still writing the question. And feel free, what aura, to call on Zoom if you want to. If not, you can do the chat, but might be easier to. I just wanted you to elaborate on that, on me saying, how does one function? I don't know what I've said now. I don't know what I've said. So if you could re-quote what I've said, I can then maybe try to respond to it. I stated, how does one function? How does one function? What did I say? In what context did I say that? It's a bit hard to know what I've said in the introduction, possibly. I did not hear the response to how does one function. So I don't know what context you mean that I said that in, but I'll just try to expand on that. So I don't know what I said, but how does one function? So that's often like one of the questions people tend to have is, how do I, if there's no one here, there's not a separate person with free will and choice here, then how do I function? How do I then, having heard this, how do I then live my life and function? How do I choose things? How do I then, live and function? So that's a common question people have when they begin to hear this. But it's not really a question you have. It's not really a question you have after. Oh no, that's okay. Important phone calls happening, but it's fine. Calling back. It's not really a it doesn't make sense the more you hear this subject, that question, because it's really like going beyond that limitation of I'm someone here with this choice and I'm in the driver's seat. I can pick how to function or how not to function. I'm the operator and I have a role to play in knowing how to do this. That's not the way this is. So it seems that way when you're separate, you are in that position to choose and to make those choices, but it's like as you begin to like sink into this more and more, it's like clearly that isn't an issue. That isn't what's being said. It isn't what's being said at all. That you are someone there and you have choice. And I'm now telling you that you have no choice. I'm not saying that to a person. There isn't anyone there who could do or not do anything. So this thing about how do I function isn't relevant. It's only relevant to the sense of someone who thinks they are real and they're independent and they are the driver of the situation of life. It's not true. It's not true. So this how do I function becomes irrelevant. How does who function? How does who function? This is the dream that this narrative of a chooser is actually choosing. There seems to be a choice. There seems to be a narrative of choice. I'm going to answer my phone or decline my phone call right now. There seems to be the appearance of that chooser and choice. And that is the way this looks, appears. But this is like going beyond that, and a deep examining of like, who is that? What is that one? Where is that idea coming from? Where is that chooser idea coming from? Where is that thought of a chooser, that narrative of a chooser coming from? And is it true? Is there substance behind it? So functioning happens, life happens the way it always has. It's functioning. Maybe that, yeah, thank you. Okay. That addressed that concern. What was your other concern? Or was that it? Uh, I'm lost where I am now. Where am I? It sounds like the non. Oh no, I've read that one. What is meant by that there is only emptiness? What is meant by that there is only emptiness? I hear that a lot. Your thoughts, please. What is meant by that there is only emptiness? I don't know what you've heard. I don't know what you've heard. I don't know you or what you've been listening to. So I can't comment on what other people have said to you or what you've heard other people say. So what I say is this is emptiness. This is emptiness as fullness. This is fullness as emptiness. This is empty and full at the same time. or you could say formlessness as form, nothingness as everything. And it really isn't for the mind to understand that. You can understand it in the sense of like quantum physics, like everything is nothing, they can't find anything, so therefore everything is nothing. But it isn't really an intellectual thing that you can understand. What's being pointed to isn't intellectual, like it's not intellectual. I can't find the word for it. It's not intellectual. Energetic. It's yeah. That there are no people. Yeah. It can be hard to hear. I think when you first hear this sort of way of talking, it can be quite shocking and extreme and confusing. So what is this interaction here now? Well, it seems to be an interaction. It seems to be like that. So you could call it an interaction. Maybe, you know, those hands are typing on the keyboard, thoughts are appearing, and there's typing, and then there's a reading and speaking. So it seems to be, and you see the picture of this body on the screen. I don't see a picture of that body, but I see the name and the writing. So it seems to be an interaction. You could say the whole thing is a play. Like it's the whole thing is a play. All day, all day we are playing. Like, it is playing. It's so beautiful. The eyes open in the morning and there's playing. Even before the eyes open, there's thoughts. It starts playing. It's so beautiful. And yeah, there's interaction, there's playing. One big play. But I don't know, I just feel like, and I could be wrong obviously, but I feel like um and it could be like, well, obviously it is like in me like this annoyance or this anger. I'm not saying it's true, that is how you feel, but I just get the feeling of that, like anger about this. No separate self, your thoughts, please. So yeah, maybe we end with the questions now, I think. Sorry, Blue, maybe you write next time your question. Please don't perceive my inquiries as negative. Oh no, I don't. Yeah, I don't mind you. You can go see how I adore. Yeah, Hammer Rupert Sparrow comment section. Yeah, I don't. I don't mind you hammering your questions and stuff. It's not that. It's just I feel this an anger or annoyance or something, and what it is, I'm not sure about. It's like if that is I'm not saying it definitely is, but I feel that, and so I'm thinking if you ask questions and there's that anger or that annoyance there, and I answer the question, it's not going to uproot that annoyance or anger. So they'll just keep coming with more questions and more questions. And I just feel like if that anger or annoyance is there, or that pain, whatever it is, then I would rather be open to that, like addressing that and looking at that, as opposed to these questions that aren't getting to the root of what's going on. So yeah. That could be so wrong, and you don't feel anger or upset or whatever the emotion is. That's just what's coming up. More than happy to say that's my anger, my upset, my hurt. If you don't say it's yours, I'm happy to say, okay, I'm wrong and it's mine. It's not you. That's fine, but it's important that I express that. Yeah, so. But you are the perceiver and I am doing the projecting from a fun stance. But you are the perceiver and I am, it's really the exercise. I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yeah. Hey ho. The anger was perceived here too and very triggering to me. Oh, okay. And seeing how neutral your reaction was helpful. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you saying that endless embrace, and you saying that as well, what Aura. I think it's yeah, I feel great to have expressed that. Like I didn't know how to say it, but I said it because I couldn't not say it as well. So yay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. Really, it really is beautiful. Can't see. You're perceiving something I don't intend to project, but I can't control your perception. You're perceiving something I don't intend to project. Yeah, I wasn't saying you were intending to feel what you feel or project. I can't control your perception. No, and you can't control what's coming up in you either. It's just happening. Um, so yeah, I'm just speaking what's coming up here is that I feel that there's some aggression or something aggression, or I'm not good at labeling things so well, but annoyance or anger, or yeah, often anger is actually pain, it's hurt. But yeah, I just felt that, and also embrace. I just felt the same thing, endless embrace. So yeah, but I don't mean to, I'm not saying it's anyone's, it's yours, it's a bad thing, or it's just pointing out, being open to what is appearing, and if that's appearing, then that's appearing, and this real openness to that, this real like allowing everything, allowing it and feeling it, and like it's just like everything is it, like it's this dissolving of this one is resisting, like it's just everything is happening and appearing perfectly, there's nothing wrong here. Mm. This is what happens in, got this heart, I can't read it because there's a heart in the way. um Reaction button. This is what happens in interactions of the day with others with others who don't exist in my joyful mind. Thus I spend my time observing the suffering. uh, yeah, anyway, so maybe we leave it there, and yeah, thank you for sharing, and for yeah, just for this openness, really, this openness to express everything, and be vulnerable and just express everything and be open to that. It's just like there's nothing else. There really isn't anything else than what's happening, and it's just really beautiful, even when it's painful. Right, thank you. I shall see you next time. Lots of love. Bye.